If you're looking to embark on an adventure to solve complex problems in your classroom and don't know where to start, or maybe you need guidance to do so, you may find the DTips toolbox useful. It's a problem-solving process that you can use to overcome challenges in your classroom, school, or even in your everyday life. The methodology, usually sequenced into 5 phases, involves first understanding human needs and discovering the root causes of the problem you're looking into, then identifying the right way to solve your problem. Then, of course, generating as many ideas as possible to answer the problem, then turning the most promising ideas into more advanced concepts and prototypes which can be experimented and tested, then evaluated and refined, and finally implemented. In DTips, we suggest the process of empathizing, defining, ideating, testing and evaluating to help you find solutions to the challenges you've identified.
The design thinking process often begins with empathizing. Basically, this means that you need to get a deep understanding of the problem and its context, as well as the people you're designing for, before even thinking about solutions. In this phase, you'll observe, engage, and become familiar with your subject of investigation. You'll meet people, many of them, and some directly concerned ones, and some more indirectly affected by the subject.
On the basis of what you've observed in the field, or what you've learned about the people that you have links with the problem, you'll need to choose a direction in which you want to focus on. This means framing your design challenge so that it is consistent with the needs and desires of the people for whom you are designing, as well as relevant in terms of available resources dedicated to solve your challenge.
So the defining phase not only allows you to clearly describe the challenge you are trying to address, but it is also a strategic moment where you will have to think about how to solve your problem. And this will depend very much on your resources, time constraints, tools, skills, legitimacy, and opportunities. This critical moment will be the starting point for the next phase of idea generation.
In the ideation phase, the goal is to generate as many ideas as possible. They can be strange, crazy, surprising, unusual, even atypical.
All you need is as many ideas as you can get. Ideas can come from creativity exercises, but they can also come from taking inspiration from elsewhere, including completely different fields or subjects. So don't hesitate to take inspiration, copy, then adapt, reshape, transform ideas and concepts to take them further. And don't censor yourself. You will later on narrow down your options by choosing the most relevant and promising ones, and then test them in the next phase. So always keep in mind that if you have trouble finding the right ideas, you can also go back to the empathize or define phase to potentially re-clarify the problem area. And don't forget, the more people are invited to generate ideas, the more diverse ideas you'll get.
The testing phase, also called experimentation phase, is basically a phase in which you'll try out your idea and concept to see if it's relevant and if it makes sense.
You can't know if an idea is a good idea unless you have tried it out. In that phase, you will sketch your ideas, make storyboards, build models and prototype. The principle is to turn your concept into a tangible object that can be confronted to reality. By doing so, you'll be able to test out your concept, collect feedback, and analyze all the impact that it has produced. Testing will allow you to either eject some of your concept or to validate them. Most usually, you will also have to refine and improve several times the concept for it to become robust and viable.
The last phase in design thinking is therefore about evaluation. You need to collect feedback to adjust and refine your ideas and concepts.
In DTips, you will focus on evaluation as a way to find out what works and what doesn't work well with the solution you've designed. So when evaluating your designs, you'll be looking for the immediate effects on those who are directly affected by your solution, all the greater impact your solution may have on the environment, your school, your classroom, and so on.
The 5 phases of design thinking tend to be represented as a linear process, but it's a lot more organic, flexible, and iterative than that. Indeed, you will jump back and forth between each step, depending on how your design challenge is unfolding, and that's totally fine and a normal thing in such a process. Nothing is fixed, but rather progresses intuitively and according to what your goal is. Each of these steps will probably sound very familiar to you because as teachers, you might already be working in these sorts of ways, but sometimes you might encounter moments of doubts and have to address a great deal of uncertainty throughout the process. So we put together the DTeeps toolbox to make the process much clearer by providing the right materials to help you develop problem-solving skills and the designer's mindset. The DTeeps toolbox offers tools, content about the designer's mindset, training material, guidance, and a community to support you along your design thinking journey, to help you learn and impart this methodology and all the skills that it develops to your pupils and wider school community. By bringing design thinking in your classroom, you'll be able to work creatively with your pupils or colleagues to come up with innovative solutions and acquire skills such as the ability to investigate better, be resourceful, improve your ability to solve problems, your ability to bring ideas to life, and to experiment. We understand that the journey from understanding to implementation of the design thinking process in the classroom might seem like a perilous journey. But as you start to practice each of the design thinking steps using the DTeeps training content and tools, you'll begin to see the intuitive, sustainable, and supportive nature of the methodology. We hope you'll make the most out of the DTeeps toolbox.